Hello, distinguished friends and colleagues. This is Stuart Hamilton, the Pro-Life Activities Coordinator for the Archdiocese of Louisville, Kentucky, serving under Deacon Stephen Bowling. And this is 5 Minutes for Life, where we take 5 minutes to discuss one topic, one ministry, or one event that affects the pro-life movement here in the Archdiocese of Louisville. Well, first of all, I want to wish every father out there a happy belated Father's Day. I'm the proud father of 5 boys, so I know how exhausting that particular blessing is. But seriously, thank you for all the fathers out there doing a wonderful job raising your children in the faith. Also, happy Juneteenth. Today is the second annual national celebration of Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth for everyone out there. But the subject of this video is actually religious freedom. The USCCB has declared this coming week National Religious Freedom Week, and the theme of the week is life and dignity for all. So what I'd like to do for this video is talk about why religious freedom is relevant and important, and also to go through some of the aspects of the theme that have been highlighted for our prayer and activism for the coming week. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Stuart, you've really missed the boat on this one. Don't you understand? Possibly the most important Supreme Court decision in the pro-life movement's history is about ready to hand it down, and you would be right. Any day now, the Supreme Court will be handing down the decision in the Dobbs versus Jackson case, and that is set, very realistically, to overturn Roe v. Wade and send the issue of abortion back to states. And there are very many states that very well may make abortion illegal in their borders. Now, that is why, in my mind, the topic of religious freedom is so relevant right now. I don't know whether you've been paying attention, but there's been a huge uptick in church vandalism, Christian churches, and in particularly Catholic churches. Perhaps you've noticed the videos of pro-abortion activists disrupting Catholic services in record numbers. Or if you're a reader, it should be disturbing you how many op-eds in national publications are now arguing that Christians and Catholics in particular need to be silenced because they've had too much of an influence on national policy. The argument that these op-eds are making is that it is a violation of the Enlightenment principles of our founding fathers who wanted a strict separation of church and state, and therefore we should enact laws that force religion back into the privacy of our homes so that it doesn't affect common policies that we all live with. Well, is that really what the founding fathers believed about religious freedom? The short answer is absolutely not. The founding fathers believed that it is an utmost good that the individual should be free to pursue truths about God and religion on their own. The founding fathers themselves, most of them were deeply religious. Some of their ancestors had fled religious persecution, so they understood when government got involved in religion, it corrupted that search for truth and it corrupted religion, which they thought was inherently bad for the common good. You see, if the individual pursues truths about God and religion on their own, they will recognize other attendant truths, truths about morality and civic duty that can only help the common good. So the short answer is the founding fathers didn't want a separation of church and state to protect the government. They wanted a separation of church and state to protect individuals who were searching for religious truth so they could be good citizens and they could uphold the common good in a good and appropriate way. In other words, government corrupts religion. Religion does not corrupt government necessarily. And so, the USCCB, recognizing that all of these things are increasingly relevant and will be even more so if Roe v. Wade is overturned, has asked that we really focus on certain themes for the coming week. Now, I don't want to go through all of these themes, but I do want to highlight some of them. Each day of Religious Freedom Week 2022 highlights a different aspect of the theme, life and dignity for all. The week begins on Wednesday, June 22nd, with the Feast of St. Thomas More and John Fisher, so you better watch Man for All Seasons on that day. And on June 22nd, we're being asked to pray for and meditate on walking with moms in need. Now, you may not know Walking with Moms in Need. This is a national movement that's being orchestrated through Catholic Charities in our archdiocese, but it's being implemented at the parish level to help women who are in crisis pregnancy situations. If Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned, it is important that the church responds by walking with moms in need and helping making it easier for them to say yes to the decision of life. So on June 22nd, please pray about walking with moms in need. On June 22nd, we're going to be focused on church vandalism. The USCCB has recorded 139 instances of church vandalism in just the last few months, and that is unfortunately increasing. So on June 23rd, we want to pray for that, and there's some material on their website on how to get involved against church vandalism. On June 24th, we are asked to pray for adoption and foster care, and obviously, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it's going to become increasingly the focus for those women who are not in a life situation that they can safely raise children, that they consider adoption and foster care. We need to support parents who choose to adopt and help children in foster care. On June 25th, we are praying against taxpayer funding for abortion, particularly in the states that are now calling for it. On June 26th, we're going to recognize our brothers and sisters who are suffering in China. So on June 26th, we're praying for religious freedom in China. They've been suffering for decades over there. And recently, one of the foremost bishops in the fight for religious freedom in China was arrested there in China. So please pray for religious freedom on June 26th. June 27th, we're praying for our pregnancy resource centers. It has been a horrible reality that abortion activists are calling nationwide for Christian-affiliated pregnancy resource centers to be attacked and vandalized. Some are being firebombed. Our local pregnancy resource centers are taking measures to protect themselves in the wake of the Dobbs versus Jackson decision being handed down. So on June 27th, pray for them. June 28th, we're praying for our health care workers. There are many states that are advocating for health care training that would make it impossible for people of Christian conviction, Orthodox Jewish conviction, or Orthodox Islam conviction to hold a position in healthcare field because they're being asked that they necessarily pursue sorts of procedures that are absolutely anathema to Christian teaching. For example, trans operations or abortions. In California, they're pursuing legislation to make it impossible for anyone who has to opt out of those sorts of procedures on the grounds of religious exemption. So on June 28th, we want to pray for health care workers. Last but not least, we want to pray on June 29th for free speech. With the increased heat that's going to be on the Christian church and on the Catholic Church, it is going to be more important than ever for Christians to be bold in their expression of their faith and to articulate in an intelligent and loving way what the Catholic Church believes about all of these things, these teachings of the church that runs contrary to the current zeitgeist cultural movements, the sexual revolution, the abortion mindset, the entire thing. We need to be bold in our speech, and we need to celebrate free speech. And on June 29th, the church is asking us to pray for free speech. Now, I'm going to put resources for National Religious Freedom Week in the description below, along with a couple of podcasts I think are really important for you to listen to if you want to learn more about the importance of religious freedom. So this week, pray for these things. And keep in mind also Dobbs versus Jackson. As news becomes available, I'll be making more of these videos to get them out to you. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and describe these videos. And remember, every life is worth fighting for because every life has dignity in the eyes of God. God bless you, and we'll see you here next month.